Hello, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to colour in one of Tim Jeff's colouring books today. This is the very first colouring book that he released from the Intricate Ink collection. This one has 50 illustrations in it. And I thought I would do this front cover. So this front cover is inside the book and I thought I would do that one. But I have picked my own colour palette. So I'm not going to go for the same colour palette as this. I have printed off a reference picture and I'm going for this palette here. So I've picked out all my pencils. You might be able to see quite a few turquoises. That one's a turquoise as well. So quite a few turquoise, sort of ochre yellow ochres, a few bits of brown, blacks, etc. So let's get into it. And I'm just going to have a little chat today, I think. I don't know how much I'm going to get done. I was going to do this one, but looking at my reference picture, let's bring my reference picture in, it's more like this one, so I'll be able to follow it a lot easier. It's also got the tail on, and this one has got the tail on that also. So these are the colours I'm going to go for. Isn't it beautiful? How gorgeous is he? So it's obviously a chameleon, and yeah, I just love it. I love the colouring. I just googled chameleons and I was sieving through all the different colours. They are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and this little guy just stood out to me with those gorgeous turquoise and yellows, so I'm going to go for that. So let's get zoomed in. You've seen all the colours I've got. I will, if anyone's interested, I will drop all these colours in the description of the video, but it's more of a like a colouring chat today, but I will drop these pencil colours in the description in case anyone wants them. Yeah, so let's get going. Let's zoom us into this beautiful little chameleon. If you hear emergency vehicles going past, they're always on my videos. If you watch my videos all the time, you will probably hear one. honest, they're always going past. Always interrupting me. And it's normally when I just hit record as well. So, how many minutes in are we? 2 minutes in, and there's one gone past already. The joys of living on a main road, guys. So first I'm going to go in with a light cobalt turquoise 154. These are of course the Fabercastell polychromos pencils. And I'm going to start off with, let me get my reference picture. I'm going to start off with his face. So I'm going to put a base of this lightest colour, which I've picked out, down. And then we'll pick out all the other parts a bit later on. So do we need to zoom in anymore? Is that enough? Is that okay there? So yeah, I've just been on hold. There's nothing worse, is there, than being on hold when you're trying to get through to someone. And the worst thing is that they rang me first. But my phone was on silent, so I've not heard it and I've missed the call. So I've rang them back. 40 minutes I've been trying to get through, and then when I've got through, they didn't even know why they'd rung me. So irritating. They didn't even have a reason why I'd received a missed call from them. So whether they'll ring me back at some point, I do not know. But yeah, 40 minutes to be told, sorry, we don't know what we've rung you for. Oh. And it had the worst music. It had the worst holding music ever. It's one of them where it's just like a little tune, and then every so often it'll stop and go and talk through a load of boring information what you just don't want to hear, which I heard about 100 times over and over. Oh, I hate it. It's infuriating. I end up just putting them on loudspeaker, and then I can scroll my phone at the same time as I'm on hold. But I was waiting to come on and film this, so I'm a bit behind now with my time. So, I had a bit of a mind blank moment then, because this reference that I've got is facing this way with his tail on the left hand side. Obviously my reference is the opposite way around, so I'm just trying to work out. I'm easily confused, guys. I'm easily confused. It's so embarrassing. That's why I've done this this one and not the larger close-up image, because I would have been struggling. Where's this colour going? Where's that? Where's this going? So yeah, up here we're going to have a lot of this light shade up there. I just love Tim Jeff's illustrations, and I don't think they get enough love on YouTube. I don't really see anybody colouring his pages, and I absolutely adore them. I adore them. You will see quite a few colourings from Tiff on my Tim. Oh, I apologise. You will see a few colourings on my channel from Tim's work. I think the last one I did was an elephant. But I do a little chameleon today. My reference picture doesn't quite show this front of the nose, so I'm unsure about colours. But I will just assume it does look like this darkest area where the grayscale is. It does look like that's going to be a sort of warm grey or sepia type, and then we've got the cobalt colours in the centre, mixing in a few other colours. So I'm just going to do a light layer for now, and then I'll decide what I'm doing with it after, because I'm going to bring in a few other, probably some more warm greys, etc, etc. And where else do I want this colour? So he's going under here. It's because I'm leaking back to front. I'm such a donut. So this colour's going to come up his arm a little bit. I'm going to have some green gold in here as well, the green gold pencil. So I will be throwing a bit of that around his elbow sort of areas. So I'm just going to very randomly dot this colour around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It is just, if you look at his arm and his leg, it is just sort of patches of light cobalt, dark turquoise, green goldish, sort of dark ochres, yellow ochres. So I'm just going to very randomly put patches of colour and then merge. Hopefully it'll merge all together. But look, fingers crossed, you know. It's got to be dark under here. I'm going to put a dark, sort of dark yellow ochre under there, I think. Oh, I love him already, and I've not even done much. So yeah, that colour comes up to there, and then we get some dark ochres above it. Now my reference doesn't have this stripe. I'm not sure whether this is supposed to be sort of, you know, when you have an illustration, it's got like a highlight, like a shine in the skin, like a shine. I think that's what that might be. So when I go into those colours, I'll just make that little bit lighter than what I'm doing on either side, and then hopefully it will make it look like a sort of little highlight. Fingers crossed. So starting off on the back, I'm just doing patches of this colour. Missing, well, not missing it out, this little area here, the lighter areas is going to be the yellow, but then the spots inside it are going to be this colour. So just going to put a bit of that dotted around, and it comes down here as well. I don't know whether I'll be able to get this all done on one sitting, but we'll see. I'll try my best. So I'm going to do all the dots this sort of colour. I will even darken them up with probably the Helio turquoise. This is just mapping out what I want to do a little bit. That's all. As soon as you get that basic base of colour, that mapping out of where you're going, it's a lot less intimidating. The traffic on this road has been so noisy lately. I've had to shut the window while I'm filming, but I can still sort of hear it. And I'm hot as well. I'm hot. But it's just too much. It's too much. I'm on a very busy main road, and there's just lots of lorries going past lately that sort of seem to be rattling the whole house. Am I still in frame? Have we got his little butt on here? His little tail. So I'm really not being very... I don't need to be very neat with this, should I say, because this is just the bottom layer of dots. I'm going to be going in with some depth over the top of them shortly. I'm just getting his bottom bit of his tail, all these dots on here. I may even extend the dots into bigger patches, so you can do that. You can expand on the line art, so to speak. So I'm going to do bigger patches now. Right there. Very randomly. I'm just using the reference as a guide. I'm not putting everything in the exact same spot that it's been done on the reference. Again, random blotches around his legs because they're very patchy. His legs are very full of colour. I'm not forgetting this little one under here sticking out. I will have missed some areas, I always do. So I'm going to go in about around here near his leg. He has got a full patch of this lighter colour. So I'm just going to go in and map that out. And one a bit further back. So sort of there. I think that's about right. Got a bit of a darker one there. I think I'm happy with that. I think so. I'm sure I'll be tweaking it as I'm going along. But I am going to put a few more bigger patches around the circles that I've just coloured. Some under his belly. So let me just work out, that's the dark bit here, that's the yellow, that's the dark. So I'm just going to bring some of this colour up to the top, right at the top. There will be other colours going into this as well. Just roughly putting some colour down. So I'm going to get my Helio turquoise 155 now, and I'm going to deepen up some little areas. So starting with his face, let's get us back in a bit better. I'm going to start, where should we start? Should we start under his arm? Where's this little arm under here? And I'm going to put some darkness under there. I may even bring some greys, dark greys under here as well. But we'll see. Sort of starting with a medium pressure, then going into a light pressure up here, so we can mix in some other colours without it being too harsh. But you want to have that dark shadow under there. going to put in a little bit of darkness around his little, I think around here where he's got a little sort of crease, a little fold in his skin, scales, whatever you want to call them. What should we call it? Who wants to come up with a name for this chameleon as well, like we did with the snail page? Drop your suggestions down below in the comment box. And there's a space for me to write his name here in the little white strip at the bottom, so I can write a name there. Girl or boy, what do we think? And come up with a name suggestion for me, and then I'll write it on the page at the end. That'd be quite cute. So I'm just going to randomly put some splodges of darkness in here. At some point I will be going back in with the lighter shade that I used, but not at the moment. We always have an ugly stage in everything we do as well. Always have an ugly stage. So you can sort of map out your splodges where you want them, and then you can buff around them to sort of blend them in. But we will be coming in with that lighter shade, which will help to blend them as well. Been really hot the past few days over here. I think we hit almost 30 degrees. It was like 29 degrees, and that over here for us is just there was nowhere either. It's really humid heat. It's like when you just can't breathe in it, and then night time's horrific. You can't sleep when it's that hot. So I am going to leave some room just around the mouth area. I'm actually going to get my lightest colour, which was the, let me sharpen it. It was the light cobalt turquoise. I am just going to put a light covering over here where I missed all these little scales here. And I am going to bring some cadmium yellow 107. I am going to bring some of this around here. So now we're adding a bit of yellow into the mix of things. And when we blend it into the turquoise, we're going to get some nice greens as well, because when you look at this, there's bits of green mixed in, especially up here as well. There is bits of green, so it's nice how that blends in with that and makes its own colour. Also, we like a bit of that. So we'll do a little patchy around here. A little patch near his nose. I'm probably going to use some sort of creams and ivories to blend everything together at the end as well. So now I've got that cadmium yellow in, I am just going to put a little bit of light yellow ochre in some places, 183, just to deepen up some of the edges, so it's not so much of a bright yellow. We're almost dulling it down a little bit, if you know what I mean. Keeping some brightness in the center. Can't wait to do his eye as well. His eye. Now I am going to use this colour as well to do all these little spikes at the bottom, because it just looks like that is pretty much, where's my little dusting brush? It does just look like that is pretty much just like a block colour of this. Ooh, What am I doing? That flew out my hand. It flew that then. Now you have to be careful when you're going over this black, because if you go over too much and you think, oh, I'll erase that, when you erase onto this black ink, it lifts the colour of the black. So if I went over the lines here with a pencil and I thought, oh, I'll just get my eraser and erase it, you're going to end up with a lighter patch of black, if you know what I mean. If that makes any sense to you. So just sort of where this ochre meets this bit, I'm just going to put a little bit of Bistre 179 just above all of these. It's just gonna blend in. Just map out that line, and then you can almost buff it up a little bit. When you're doing things like this, you don't need to be scared of merging different colours like that. Especially with a chameleon, they're just gorgeous. So much colour in them, look. Beautiful, beautiful. I love him. I'm going to go back over all of this now with the light cobalt turquoise 154. Because we're not putting any other colours into that section now. That's all the colours we want down. So we can even darken up this little bit around the mouth. And this bit on the shoulder, we can just darken up around there. A little brush off. Oh, I love how that's just blended nicely. Love that. So I'm going to move up a little bit now, up here. So just underneath here, he has got like a little stripe in between here and here. And it looks like the phthalo green colour that I've picked out, 161. So I'm just going to pop some of that in. Yeah, that's the perfect colour for this part. Perfect. Just gonna merge it in there and blend it into that colour. See if we can blend it into the ochre a little bit as well. We'll almost have a little colour change again, which brings in another new tone of green that's really pretty. And then I'm going to add a little bit of warm grey 275, and I'm going to put a little tiny bit just there and blend it around, just a tiny splodge of colour. And then a little bit as well in this sort of gap around the mouth that sort of separates. I'm going to put a little bit there. So cute. There we go. So I'm going to deepen up this area now with the light cobalt turquoise 154 again. Really just working that colour in now. Gorgeous. Now we're going to move on to this little area here, which is quite light actually. So I might actually blend, instead of going on with a hard pressure with this light cobalt turquoise, I might actually put an ivory over the top to dull it down a little bit, or a white possibly, or it might be okay, it might be okay like that. Yeah, it looks okay like that. So I'm going to move on to his little head, and I am going to use, he's sort of got two little stripes of the Phthalo green 161. So I'm really just going to try and map out some little lines, so wiggly lines, and then I'll thicken them up. So sort of, we go there, and then a little one at the bottom. So I'm just gonna firstly map it out. You've just got to go for it, you can't be scared I don't think when you're doing this. So that was my first line, and then my little line was a really small one that's just almost got lost right at the end. But there, and then I'm going to sort of buff the ends. So where the ends are quite harsh, I'm just gonna buff around with small circular motions, and just with a light pressure I'm gonna bring it out a bit on both sides. And then back in with the light cobalt turquoise 154, and we're gonna go in with a hard pressure at the sides. Can't wait to do his eye as well. Look at his eye. His eye reminds me of a sweetie. What sweets are like? Are they pink and white or red and white? In stripes like those. What sweeties are those? I've forgotten. So that's that bit. Now I'm going to add some more of the warm grey. I'm going to bring some warm grey in around the edges. So warm grey and Payne's grey for a bit more depth. So the warm grey is 275 and the Payne's grey is 181. So starting with the warm grey, I'm going to put a base layer all the way around of this. This is the warm grey, isn't it? Yeah. I'm going to leave a few little white areas just so we don't get lost into the black background. We've got that little white strip almost in some areas. So now I'm going to pick out some little bits with Payne's grey 181. So just very randomly going in with some really dark Payne's grey. Just in patches, almost just picking out some areas. I'm gonna put a bit under his eye as well, almost like a, there's almost like a little shadow under there that I'm gonna pick out. There we go. And then I'm going to find a lighter grey. I've actually not got it out of my pencil case, so I'm going to find a really, really light grey. So I'm going to go for, this is quite a light one, Cold Grey 231. And I'm just going to go over everywhere we've just been. So this will sort of bring it all together, but not too harshly. I can hear my washing machine from up here. It's downstairs. Sounds like it's going to take off. It's that noisy. There we go. And now I'm going to do his eye. Let's get into that eye and do his eye. So for this, I am going to use, not that one, where's my Helio turquoise gone? I think it's Helio turquoise, let me look. Yeah, no, I'm going to go in with a base of the light cobalt turquoise first. So I'm going to base the eye with this. Pretty much all over we can base with this. All over his little eye. Look at him, he's so cute. Love him. Then I'm going to pick out some of the patches with the Helio turquoise 155. So the lighter strips, I'm going to go in with this. But sort of not all over. Sort of picking out darker areas and keeping the others lighter. Don't know if I'm making any sense at all. I watch my videos back sometimes just to check that I'm making sense. Does it look like a toffee? Looks like a sweetie. This eye does. So now I'm just going to pick out with the warm grey 275. I'm going to go into those dark areas. So just mapping it out first, and then we can blend it all together. So I'm going to add a bit more of that very first colour, like Cobalt Turquoise 154, and I'm just going to go into the edges there a little bit, where we've got a bit of white space. And then back in with the not cobalt green, I keep picking cobalt green up. Helio turquoise 155. I'm gonna go back in with this just around the edges to merge them in a bit nicer into that warm grey. If you want to put any highlights around the eyes or in the eyes, you can do that when you finish with the coloured pencil work, or you can do it at the end. If you're scared about putting your hand into gel pen and smudging it, which you know I do quite a lot, then you can do that at the end. I'm just going to have a quick look at his little teensy wincy eye. Yeah, We'll go in with the light cobalt turquoise just around there, just that little bit there. And then I'll leave that highlight in, but I might just make it a bit brighter with the gel pen. So I'm going to use the Arteza. You could even put some little spots around his eye. There is a few, what seems to be a few little spots of lightness. Or even you could do like a little, like a shine in the eye, which would go around maybe like that or something. I'll have a play around with that later. I'm always like just mauling and matching with things. So I'm going to start off on the body now, and I'm going to start off with the lighter yellow areas. So first I'm going to put down the cadmium yellow 107. So just check how long I've been filming, because I will have to cut it off at an hour, just because my camera doesn't like giving me enough storage, guys. So this bit is the dark bit. These lighter patches are going to be the yellow. So I'm doing a medium pressure. I'm not going to put a hard pressure because I do want to leave some tooth in the paper so that I can bring in some of the light yellow ochre over the top. But I do want the brightness in the middle. And this even comes up into the top as well, so around the top. So the next light patch is this one here. You're still in frame, let's pull you over. So this is the next lighter patch. I'm really enjoying colouring this, it has to be said. Really enjoying it. So I'm going to leave that middle highlight bit for now. I'm going to leave it and decide what I want to do with it at the end. Because I might want to just leave it white. Yeah, who knows. So then the next lighter part is this bit here. And right up there. There we go. Where else have we got? Moving on to the arms and the legs now. So this doesn't have a cadmium yellow. It appears to just be a sort of ochre and sort of green gold. There's a bit of green gold coming into that one. Again, the same with the leg. So I am just going to put this colour around the tail, dotted around the tail a little bit. So let's make sure we're in frame with the tail. So just there's certain colours of patching around the sort of turquoise dots of this yellow, sort of picking and choosing, and then I'll bring some ochre into it as well. They're so pretty, so pretty, these little chameleons. So you can see how random this is now, but it will all come together in the end. It will all merge so beautifully. There we go. There's definitely none around the leg. Just double checking. So I'm going to go in with the ochre now. So the light yellow ochre 183. And we'll deepen up some of these edges. So I'm going to start around the edge of this one. So you're just sort of outlining it in this colour and leaving the centre the bright yellow. I'm going to do these little bits at the top as well. Oh, that's looking lovely. Again, the same with this one. You can mix in this colour into the turquoise. That creates quite a nice shadow down there. Gorgeous. I'm gonna give my pencil a quick sharpen. We're still in frame, guys. I think we are. Oh, I should have made another brew and brought it up. I was on hold that long to that phone call I was trying to make. I have no brew left for filming now. No brew. I need my coffees. Coffees when as soon as I've dropped the kids off at school. It. I need to get home and get myself a coffee. So pull this little tail up and we'll put some darkness around some of these yellow patches. Colouring something like this is easier than it looks, I'm sure. I'm sure it's easier than it looks. If I was watching this, I'd think it would look quite complicated, but it's actually not. So what's everybody else colouring at the moment? Drop me comments down below. What page have you got a whip in? And what page you're colouring whilst you're watching? Are you colouring along? Who knows? Does anybody else like Tim Jeff's illustrations? Like I say, I really do love them. I love them, but I don't think it gets enough airtime over on YouTube. I don't see many people colouring his pages on YouTube. It's a shame, really, because they're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, guys. This book here, this very first one as well, it's good value for money, this one, because this one is the only book with 50 illustrations in, the rest have 25 in. So you're getting a really good deal on this very first intricate ink. Really good deal. So there, that's that bit. I am going to go back in with the cadmium yellow now. So cadmium yellow 107, now that we've done all that. And I'm going to just burnish in the centre now, making them middle parts brighter. So now we've got the ochre in, we can afford to go with a harder pressure. Brighten him up, make him absolutely beautiful. Whoops. That's the only thing about this book opening that way, like opening from the bottom to the top, is that it's hitting everything at the top of my desk over there. I need to tidy it still. It's too cluttered, but I've too much stuff now and nowhere to put it. It's frustrating. That's why I've not really bought much. I've not done a whole video. I've not got a whole video planned because I've not bought anything. To be honest, there's not really much that I've seen that I want either. I mean, no, there's really not. I did see a nice sketchbook that would be good if I wanted to do Inktober, which I saw on Corey's channel, Colourfully Optimistic, and apparently it doesn't bleed through, so you can use, you know, your alcohol markers, etc, etc, and it won't bleed through. So that's the only thing I've sort of been looking at and thinking, should I or shouldn't I? Would I use it enough? But yeah, it's still in the basket, guys. It's still in the basket. So let's just bring you in and see what we've done so far. I might turn this lamp off. What's it look like without the lamp? No, we'll leave it on for now. Now all these dots I put in at the start, I am just going to deepen up some of them with the Helio turquoise 155. So I did say I was going to deepen some of those up. So very randomly again. Bringing lots of colour into this little guy now, aren't we? He's beautiful. I've always said I would definitely have something like this, either a bearded dragon or a chameleon, or even a tree frog. I just love them, and I would definitely have one if it wasn't for the nasty creepy crawlies you have to feed them, because there's no chance. I hate bugs. I hate bugs, so there's no chance I would be feeding them crickets, is it? Is it crickets you feed them? Ugh, no. Just no. But I love them, they're so cute. So I'm just sort of leaving in, I'm not going over the whole circle with the dark. I'm leaving in little patches of the lighter colour. My daughter's back to school this week, my eldest, because she was the latest going back. Primary school went back first, and then she was after the primary school. And you know, at the height of COVID-19, they was asked to go into school on PE days in the PE kits. Then they didn't have to, you know, have the rigmarole of changing in school and all that. But now they've gone back to, you have to take your PE kit with you and get changed at school. So she's absolutely mortified. She's mortified. She's like, I don't want to get changed in front of people. So we've all had to do it. We had to, I had to when I was in school. I said to her, you know, some people take showers in front of people. All you have to do is get your PE kit on. But yeah, she wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressed. I suppose it is, you know, I always remember being shy. I always remember like trying to hide myself when I was getting changed in school and stuff like that. I suppose it's a time in your life where you're still getting used to your new body, aren't you? And yeah. This is getting tedious now with these spots, I'll not lie. It's getting a bit tedious. But with it in the end. He's gonna look gorgeous in the end, isn't he? Gonna bring some depth into there in a minute. Apologise if my hand's in the way a little minute. There we go. Right, let's have a look. I'm gonna put a few dark patches on his tail and then just blend them out. That goes in so nice, it blends in so nice to those colours. I'm going to put a bit of the light cobalt turquoise just on the edge of here. Whoops, dropping my pencil. I'm sort of doing the edges in the Helio turquoise here and then using the light cobalt turquoise in the centre almost. But then I'm buffing the edges with this darker shade so it sort of blends into the yellow ochre and creates its own colour. Almost its own little shade of green. Beautiful. If you'd like to see me do the whole page on camera, just comment down below because I won't get this all done today. But if you would like to see me finish it on camera, then do leave me a little comment and I'll see what I can do. Don't forget to put your suggestions down for a name for this little dude or girl. Oh, I think there's another emergency vehicle going past the house. That's 2 on the video. They're noisy, aren't they? Noisy. I'm going to use a bit of the warm grey 275 to just go sort of around this area of the tail where the sort of line art is drawn in the spiral shape. I'm going to go round it with that just because there's a bit of a shadow. So you can put the initial line down where you want it, and then if you feel like it's too harsh you can just go round in really light circular motions and just buff it all out so you're almost blending it in. You're blending your line in and it does create that nice shadow effect. You know what, I might actually, the other illustration that I showed at the start, the larger, more zoomed in chameleon, I might actually colour that as well this month. I am loving this. This is awesome. So you can see that that shadow is really nice now. It's really blended out. It almost has like a blurry effect to it, if that makes sense. Like a blurring. Gorgeous. I love that. I love it. So what to do now? What to do? Getting back into the Helio Turquoise 155, and I'm moving up with this darker edging up the tail as we go around. So carrying on with this. It does take time. Not gonna lie, it takes time, but it's gonna be worth it. And you don't really have to worry too much about where your colours go, because they're all merging, they're all blending beautifully together. Even this turquoise going into the yellow, and ochre is creating its own gorgeous tone of green, which is just going in perfectly, blending in with it all perfectly. I love it. So light cobalt turquoise again in the centre of here. And around there. Around the edge here a little bit. He's sat on a little tree branch as well, I think, but I'm not going to do that until the very end. Very last, that's going to be done. This has sort of got a little line of colour going down there. And up here. Just try and get my hand out the way for you. Trying to blend this colour in a bit nicer. To really get into those little ridges as well. What are they on the back? On his little back. Oh, I'm waiting on my book arriving as well. I ordered the new Hannah Carlson book. I was a bit hit and miss whether I wanted to order it or not, and I'm still not 100% sure if I like all the illustrations, but I'm hoping when I do the flip through that quite a few jump out to me. But I'm not as excited about it as I was with the Midnight Masquerade. I think the Midnight Masquerade was the best from this new series so far. I mean, I do still like them, don't get me wrong, I do still like them, but the Midnight Masquerade just had something really special about it. I can't put my finger on it, but I really like that one. So light cobalt turquoise 154. So yeah, I've ordered it from the book depository and it has been dispatched, so hopefully it won't take too long to get here. And I can do a flip for you all and tell you my thoughts. And hopefully some nice pages will jump out at me that I feel like I want to colour. So I feel like I'm missing some colour around the outside of this tail, like some of this Helio turquoise. So I'm just going to bring some in. I think I totally missed that bit. So randomly I'm going to go around all the edge and then pull some darker pieces down. Then we'll do some blending, blend it all out. it's just down here at the bottom I've missed as well. Getting too excited to carry on with the rest of the tail, that's what it is. I'm an eager beaver now. Being an eager beaver trying to get it done. Because I can see how fab it's going to look when it's done, so I'm just like, come on. I'm going to blend that in with the light cobalt now. So who's excited for Halloween? Have you got anything planned regarding colouring Halloween? Have you got plenty of PDFs or Halloweeny colouring pages? Or are you the opposite where you don't like colouring Halloween pages? Some people don't, do they? I will of course be colouring in my Camilla Derico Cute and Creepy colouring book because, you know, I've saved all those more scary pages up for Halloween to get that book completed. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So I am going to leave it there today, guys. Otherwise, my video will not upload for you because it does not let me upload much more than an hour's long video, unfortunately. I need to upgrade all my technology, I think. Otherwise I would have continued because I was really enjoying myself, and I'd have continued and possibly filmed for 2 hours completing this page. But yeah, if you do want to see me finish it on camera, just drop me a little comment down below and I'll save the rest of it for when I hit the record button. If you want to come up with a name for him, I will be picking my favourite suggestion like I did with the snail page, and then my favourite name will go on here when we've finished colouring him. So get all your suggestions down in the comments down below. Please do hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to get notifications when I drop new videos. Just hit the bell and that will notify you. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.